Greetings and salutations. I'm getting my stuff together. I'm getting it together. I promise. Alright, this looks fine. Alright, how to do? We are currently rocking a level 8 monk on Samius. Oh, excuse me. Big yawn. Had a long weekend this weekend. So a little bit tired still. Trying to wake up. See what do we got? We're 8. That's not what we want. 8. So we can do quite a bit of stuff here actually. Oh, good. Start putting things that chirp in front of me. Oh, we have 7s to clean up. Oh, we have a lot of 7s to clean up. Kind of want to save 7s for another level here. We got some 6s still to do. This is what we probably should do. Purge of Heretics won't take very long. Sleepless Nights won't take very long. Kind of a big deal. I think it's the last of the 12s left. Let's start with... I want to say let's start with that because it's a lot of experience, but it's also something that might require me to actually be good at playing the video game, which is going to need like a few minutes. So let's go do... let's just go Purge the Heretics. It'll take like 5 minutes, maybe give me a minute to wake up and get going. Perhaps. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess we could do all the quests in here. Come on. Ugh, click, 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 click. Too many clicks. Not a bit. I laugh. I laugh in the face of evil! My pain cream is in the, my bag upstairs. Oh boy. What? It's super quiet. Oh, let's just turn down. Let's turn the game sounds way up here.
Slow, sonorous chanting.
That's better.
Heard above the sound of rushing water.
I just want to get the champs following me, I think.
The sound of tramping feet approaches from the hall ahead.
Get everything that we possibly can fighting us inside the flames. Oh, he's blurry. It's not fun.
A shrieking cry to the gods of the sovereign host pierces your mind.
Well, now I'm very glad that I went ahead and I summoned what's his name. Maybe I'll even get a heal. Oh, sweet. Hopefully he'll stay out of the trap, though. Fergie, baby, don't you go walking into the trap for days. I don't know. I got nothing. At some point, I'll have to show off the gift I got. We did a Dungeons and Dragons blanket, which is actually pretty sweet.
Angry shouts fill the room as the elven missionaries rally to their chapel's defense.
Somehow we vorpaled that guy? We just ran out of hit points. Oh, looks good. I heard someone going, yeah! I don't see anybody though.
Sweet incense hangs heavy in the air, here at the center of the heretic's power.
Oh, I wasn't even pointing at her. Oh well. Yeah, we'll pick up anything that's not heavy. We're still struggling just a little bit with our encumbrance numbers. Not like a lot, but enough that I would rather not worry about it. Oh boy, anything exciting going on today? Last I checked Twitter, the answer was no, but I haven't actually looked super hard. Jerry is streaming. I knew that though. But other than that, not really anything going on. Yes, people are... I don't know. There's a weird drama situation going on with Bill Cosby thanks to Eddie Murphy. I don't know. Apparently some people still watch Saturday Night Live. I don't know who these people are, but I guess they still exist. And Eddie Murphy said some stuff on Saturday Night Live. Of course there's a Famine Reaper here. There's always a Famine Reaper. Man, I cannot type worth a crap today. Let's see. What else do we have on the upcoming holidays here?
Cage clatters open.
Kwanzaa, which of course is shenanigans.
The angry hiss of escaping acid trickles off in silence. Somewhere in the distance, a single low-pitched bell chimes.
Hey, good morning, Tlab. How's it going, Big Papa?
The sulphurous reek of magical fire hangs heavy in this guard alcove.
Good. Trying to... $150 has joined. Don't know who that is. Oh well. Guess it doesn't really matter.
Gnawed and rotten corpses.
Need to
foul air. You feel
set
a
up
welcome
the
breeze
Facebook
blast
stream.
from this heat in this room.
They gave us 2 weeks of streaming to a Facebook public channel as a part of a hook to get you into it. And of course my Facebook private channel is complaining that I haven't done anything on it, and it's going to get deleted if I don't do something about it soon. And I'm just like,
Somewhere in the distance,
I'm not in the mood to spend a bunch of money on this ability, but I don't know. It'd be nice to take advantage of it for a couple of weeks and see if people like it. So I need to see about setting that stuff up. Let's see. I have today, tomorrow, and I'll be gone most of the rest of the week. I might be here the day after Christmas. Still not 100% on the plans. Have to see. Speaking of kind of interesting things that happened over the weekend, one of my sister-in-laws won apparently a really sweet top-of-the-line gaming computer for their family by winning a contest where they had to like stand and touch the computer until they're the last person standing. And apparently it was 38 hours. 38 hours of standing there touching the computer. I'm assuming that they gave them restroom breaks. I don't know that to be a fact, but I imagine. They are WoW players. They are WoW players. Or at least they were WoW players. I don't know if they're still WoW players. I know my brother Seth does not get a lot of time to play games. And when they did, like I said, when he did have time to play, he was very much a WoW player. Like, my whole family played WoW while I played DDO, and I was trying to talk them into playing DDO, and every once in a while they would come and they'd play like a little bit, and then they would leave because it wasn't the game that they were used to. Just understandable. We do all have shortcomings, that's true. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty interesting story. Let's see. I always do this one, and then I think it's one more after this one. I think it's this one. Apparently not. So turn this on, that off. Turn this back over. Hey, Beef. Gotta hang out with Beef this weekend for a little bit. I personally feel like the funniest part of the night happened at the end. Although the whole dinner was super awkward. Our waitress was not great. Also think that the guys may have traumatized her slightly to start the day off. So a lot of awkwardness at that particular dinner. But it was good to put a face to a beef, I guess. I enjoyed it. And like I said, we did a gift exchange that I should probably give my present at some point. It's pretty great. It's a little blankie with the Dungeons and Dragons red box cover on it. I think might be one of the first players instead, but I'm pretty sure it's the red box. Beef did not. I was expecting a slightly different. A little bit different person, but it was not so far out of the range of I was expecting. He was like 10% more clean cut than I expected him to be. Oh no. I don't actually think I have a way to kill those guys up there. Oh, I have a bow. Very well. Let's axe these bows. Yeah, I mean... Tobrel was a little bit... it's really... Let me put this in a way that all makes sense, get my words in order. So, humans naturally need a face. So if they can hear somebody but they don't have a face, they make one up based off of other characteristics from people that have a similar voice quality. So Tobrel had pieced together a picture of what he thought Beef should look like based off of his voice, and he was expecting a little bit different build and whatnot, which I thought was pretty close, to be honest. I don't know, I think Beef for the most part matched what I had pictured in my head, with a few, like I said, a few rare exceptions. Mostly, I think that I would have been shocked. So, if I didn't already know that he was a janitor, I would have been shocked to find out that he was a janitor. Like, what? He looked very good. You were very pretty. Also, his voice is slightly less deep than it is. At least it seemed like it. It was very loud at the place we went to eat. But I think Beef has got a slightly higher voice in real life. killed and then leave this quest. There we go. Just don't want a surprise teleport gotcha moment. But no, it was pretty good. Like I said, the wait staff at that particular restaurant was kind of off. We had a female waitress who at one point even like stormed off. It's a little bit like I'm one of those people who likes everyone to be happy, but I like to tease them and do stuff. I didn't even get to say hardly anything to this person. Like, it was just like, usually if someone's going to make someone mad and they're going to walk away in anger, it's going to be my fault. But it was not my fault today. It's the holidays, man. Holidays jumble the days all together. That is exactly what happens this time of year. The next 2 weeks are going to be... Yeah, the waitress, that's... Usually I'm not like... I think Beef judges things a little harshly a lot of the times, but I think he probably nailed it with this one. Oh, man. I was like, what the F? Alright, we warmed up, which is what I needed to do. I needed just to warm up a little bit. Let's take kind of a big deal. I have no idea. So, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of stuff that happened on our end that I was just like, I was trying to explain to the group that was not what we needed. But you guys know how I get when it's like super loud and busy. You know how I have a hard time processing too much stuff. So there was a couple of moments in there where it was like, I could understand from her point of view why things would have gotten confusing or whatever. But at the same time, like Beef said, it's not our fault that their software sucked. But in the end, Ben ended up paying for all of the food. So I have no idea what her bill was like. And because she was, as the girls would say, was being a tot, she didn't put our drinks on our bill. I think she would have split it. Like, I think she already had the bill split even, and it caused her even more problems when Ben tried to just pay for everything. Yeah. I don't know. It was very, very off-putting. I almost would have wished that we could have... So, when there was a lady waitress, a female waitress, I guess a waitress, who started taking our order, and then she got frustrated, and then this waiter came over. I think he was working the bar. Came over and helped. Wow, I almost wrecked him. Came over and helped our waitress take care of like our drinks and stuff. I wish that guy just would have been able to stay and be our server the whole time. Well, he doesn't have that doctor money yet. But I mean, honestly, we all went out the next day to Big Biscuit, right? So here's the difference. If that particular, the food I think was fine. I'm not a tomato guy, and there was tomatoes on one of the pizzas that I thought sounded really good until I found out it was covered in tomatoes. But even then, I ate a slice of the pizza after picking the tomatoes off, and I thought it was fine. Like, it had that tomatoey taste to it, but it was fine. But the experience, I would put very low. Like Beef said, 2 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10. Hanging out with people was better. Like that raised the experience some. But like the service and the food eating service, if they would have, if my phone went chirp chirp, we see that you're here. Well, how would you rate the experience? It would have been very poor. I'd have been like, the food seemed really good, but the wait service was cranky, rude, and incredibly unprofessional. Right? Like from the minute we walked in, that was basically the chief complaint. So like, from almost everybody. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are we gonna get you murdered? Let's not get you murdered. From the person who sat us to all the way around. That pizza with the tomatoes is the best one. I don't know. I am a person who likes the what do they call it? The Louisiana style crust. So I did prefer the other one. I also don't like a lot of tomatoes. So now on the flip side, we went to Big Biscuit the next day, and some people had gotten their stuff mixed up, because I had told them I was sleeping until 9 because I hadn't slept very well the day before and I wanted to get some sleep. So I said I was going to be sleeping at least until 9. Well, someone decided that meant that we were going to be at the restaurant at 9. So they call us at 9:06, like wondering where we are. I'm like, in bed? Like, I'm just getting out of bed. And they're like, oh, well, we're at the restaurant. So then we rushed to get to the restaurant. We walked in. They go, oh, are you Sam and Torrance? Like, yeah. They're like, oh, your table's right over here. Like, they were waiting for us. They, like, probably got a description from the guys so they could recognize us. They were super happy. They, like, the manager walked up and thanked us and blah, blah, blah. Completely different experience. Completely different experience. And then at the end even, as we were leaving, the manager came up to us, remembered my name, was like, thanks for coming, Sam. We really appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Shook my hand. Did all the things. Like, I was like, wow, this is like night and day. Night and day difference. It's always great. It's always very, very good. It's like my wife's second favorite place in Kansas City to go eat. Real life name, you guys. Yeah, it was pretty good. I've always enjoyed eating there. But then we finished eating, and then people like made a character for a little one-shot campaign, and I was like, I'm just gonna make a pre-made character. Man, excuse me. So we end up having like this short little one-shot campaign for a couple hours, and I had to take off after a little while. But yeah, it was a good trip. As always, it would have been nice if I could have, it could have been a little longer, but it just wasn't a thing that we could have made happen. Yeah, I think we were supposed to go to a place like that. I recognized the name, and like you said, we found out there was a massive wait, so we ended up going to Big Biscuit instead, and that's just why we've always been there. Big Biscuit for life, yo. Oh, I know what happened when I switched to that bow. I need to get a freaking monk ranged weapon on Samus. Let's get this Plague Reaper dealt with before it murders us, and then this. I missed it. Did not make contact with his box. But I hit that guy by mistake, I guess. Wow, I didn't even realize. So I guess low-level crowd control in a monk is pretty sweet, huh? One gold festival coin. Ah. Yeah, fun, bud. Continue to kick ass at the new jab. Yeah, so bro couldn't quite wrap his head around the difference. The beef in his head versus beef in real life, but I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I was pretty close. Also, it felt like I had seen a picture of beef somewhere, but he told me I was incorrect. Okay. So I don't know. Like I said, for whatever reason, he was very close in my head to who I thought he looked like. Again, a little bit more put together than I think I imagined. But what do I know? Maybe he'd just come from like a meeting or something on a Saturday. Maybe he ran around to do some Christmas shopping. I don't know. So I felt very underdressed. But let's see, what else ended up happening? Anything else ended up happening really that newsworthy like? Not so much. My friend Dustin made what he was calling a feast. It was two turkey breasts, but they were on the bone turkey breasts. I mean, let's see where we end up. I plan on traveling all over the place, so I'm hoping as long as everyone is still friendly to come visit a lot of people. It's how I plan to avoid having to stay places. It's to just drive to people's houses and visit them for some amount of time. But, so then he wanted a critique from me on his turkey breast. I said, oh, it's pretty good, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said. But,
anyone who comes near.
because it was good.
Make whistling sounds
It definitely,
Heard in the
I,
distance.
I felt like it still wanted a little bit of a brine, and he put a dry rub on it and kept saying that it was a brine. It's not a brine. That's a dry rub or a crust. But that's okay. And so there was a little bit of dry spots, which I personally like, which is what I kept telling him. Was like, I happen to like a little bit dry when it comes to my turkey. I don't know why, but I do. So it was. I found it to be pretty tasty, but I know a lot of people really prefer like a moist piece of breast, and that, you know, there was a little bit of issue, and then somehow I ended up on two different bones. I ended up having two different bones in my mouth at one point, and like little slivers of bone, and ended up fetching the bones out. So I told him, yeah, you need to be really careful when you're cutting it up, because he pre-cut it. You need to be really, really careful, because there's definitely some big chunks of bone in here. And then his girlfriend's like, yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but I had a bone too. So hopefully he's learned a lot. He's really excited to make the meal for his parents, and I think it was pretty tasty. Hopefully he won't accidentally kill anybody by giving them a big piece of bone. See, I think I smashed these boxes over here before, didn't I? I feel like I did. This is the fall down part, right? The boulder trap.
The sound of stone grinding on stone can be heard from above.
Yeah. Look at us. We did it. We managed to make it through without getting creamed by a boulder. Who says miracles doesn't happen? I certainly don't. Miracles every day. Get this other big guy. Guess I should have just worried about getting the big one here killed instead of screwing around with trying to get both big ones crowd controlled. Let's see. The only other real news happened. I got to visit a friend of mine who I don't get to see very often. Hopefully he'll start coming into the stream chat a little bit. He, I guess turns out he's not working full time, but he is still going to medical school like Ben. They're basically on the same track, and he is, he's also a pharmacist. So
Cool, damp air
he,
fills the
with a wife and
hallways
2
with
small
glow.
kids.
Some
So it seems like things are
the artifact sits on a pedestal in the center
being
of
pulled
the
pretty
chamber.
tight.
The cobalt. You feel strange. As things start to go dark, you can just make out mech tech fleeing the room.
So he's hoping that he'll be able to come and hang out more over the next.
Now that you're under the artifact's influence, creatures that were gigantic moments ago now seem less intimidating.
Hopefully be able to hang out some more here soon.
This broad passageway is now too small. You hear a door closing in the distance. An unusually deep kobold voice shouts, "You'll never get it. It's mine." These once deadly traps have little effect on your giant form. It's nothing more than a bee sting.
Okay, let's jump over this, get this shaman.
A door closes and the kobold shouts, "With this shiny hunter I want no one color little again."
Well, this fragment better be like 80. Oh, it's 12. But it was so big.
You've cornered Mektek in this chamber. The entrance has been blocked by a recent cave-in, and the kobold is too gigantic to escape. Mektek totters, dropping his prize as he falls. The artifact clatters to the ground, and then your aura disappears with a flash. Before you can absorb this turn,
A little bit of wee dancing there to get that picked up.
and a small but familiar form emerges. Nimue assures you that the effects
Man,
of the artifact
I could be a
will
giant
wear
for a
off
while.
soon. For a moment, you imagine
That would be
all the
huge.
amazing things you could do as a giant, and then you realize you're stuck in this cave until you return to your normal size.
Here's the other big news. The what is it? HD60S that I ordered. It is another external HDMI capturing device. I don't know how well you can see it. So I'll try fiddling with it. Maybe tonight. If we can get it working, maybe Remington and I will be able to stream Pokemon sometime this week. What level is this? 7? Yeah, I don't care. It's too high. Too high, man. Let's see. 14 minutes. What else do we want to do? I guess we need to go do Gray Moon Waning. That's a pretty important series of quests. It's pretty important. Alright. So my friend Nathan has been working on this blue-white, essentially historic, to some extent, Flash. I don't need that. Where'd my barkeep go? That's the question. Do I need to rebuy everything real fast also? Everything with the barkeep looks fine. Let's see. I think that's an amenity square. So you have 2 weeks now. That has 4 days. 2 weeks. Yeah, we should probably do a slide up, slight gear topping off in here. So we haven't got rid of that yet. Alright, so we need a couple more days of the auctioneer. Let's just do like should get us close. So anyway, this deck list, which I will share with you guys now, for those of you who are Magic the Gathering related. See, all these things are, yeah, they're all 3-4 weeks. Alright, well, that'll do. I'm going to assume I have everything fixed. Anyway, so I'm looking at this deck list for my friend. Doesn't seem bad.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Everything above eye level.
Yeah, that's where you just consider up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything above eye level's up, right?
I mean, other things could be up as well, I suppose.
Oh, yeah?
Hmm. Alright. So I just posted a deck list in the stream video, the stream chat. Posted again over here in the Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I don't have the stream up right now. I was just getting my coffee.
You monster. Posted again over here in the Magic the Gathering list. He's decided to add in, because his list I thought was pretty strong, but he's decided to add in a Fey of Wishes, a little Fey of Wishes package.
Oh, this is Pioneer, not Historic.
Correct. It's blue-white historic, as in they're all the historic permanents. So they can be flashed in with Wrath.
Charming Prince can't.
Well, except for it. But everything else is. And he seems to like that card in particular to help him, like, sort his...
Fey Wish can't.
Well, that's because it's there to wish.
Can't.
Huh?
Reflector Mage cannot be flashed in with
did he still
Wrath.
have Reflector Mage in the main? Thought he took it out.
Have...
Alright, well, a lot of it. He's calling it blue-white historic because of
Okay.
all the things that you can... are historic spells.
Alright, alright.
I didn't even know. I thought he was going to cut the Reflector Mage for the Fey of Wishes. Must have made some other cut somewhere. But yeah, he really likes the Charming Prince. He feels like it's good pretty much in all the stages of the games that he was playing.
Yeah.
And he lost in the semifinal. So we ended up having like this really weird Friday Night Magic that ended up doing I should have done a cut to the top 4 instead of the cut to the top 8, because it basically just meant that we had some extra plays that we didn't need to.
Uh-huh.
But he ended up losing in not the finals, because Remington and his friend Riley just drew in the finals. But he ended up losing in the semis to Remington with the Fey Wishes package. And Remington was like punting like crazy. Like he just refused to go get Second Son and win the game.
I feel like he wants at least one more Castle Vantress.
Is that the Scry one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally have, so far I've found 1 and 1 to be pretty good. But I want to move my 1 and 1 to the sideboard so I can wish for them.
See, I think I would take out the 2 irrigated farmlands, move one of them over to a prairie stream, and then one of them to a Castle Vantress. That's what I would do if I were building this deck.
I know.
Also, I think Teo in the sideboard is kind of weird.
I imagine that's probably there because there's a lot of hand disruption decks, which is a bit of an issue for this deck. There's not a lot of advantage if you like you can Charming Prince and hide things on the top of your deck, but you can't like there's no advantage-y type engine.
Yeah. Also, emergency powers with no Narset. That seems wrong.
Well, so he really dislikes that particular combo. That's the... So I've been playing my blue-white deck. And Remington was playing it this week, which is why I didn't win. I played that feather list instead, which I think I need a couple more lands. I don't think I can go 20-20-20 land, spells, creatures. I think I'm going to have to add like one more land or maybe even two more lands somewhere. But
You need to be able to get up to 4, right?
no. I mean, it's nice to get to 4, but it's not as required.
Oh, okay.
The top of the deck is 3 feathers, 3 monastery mentors. It's nice to have a 4th mana so you could like play a feather and protect it.
Yeah, I was thinking of that other deck that you were wanting to play for the longest time. The historic combo we won. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I was playing it for a long time. Let's see how good our saving throws are. Pretty good.
Fall into this chasm
Take it.
would be certain death. You see movement in one of
I know.
the
I actually.
It may be Achka.
Oh, I guess they don't have the named in there, so it doesn't open. I actually do like the 2 irrigated farmlands. Did I not pick up the key?
I'm guessing no.
Excuse me. What a massive dork. It's really good on 1 to drop 1. And if you happen to get them later, you can just cycle them away. I mean, I don't know if 2 is the right number. I could see 1 because, like I said, the first one's really good. The second one's not great. So if you happen to draw 1 in your opening hand, you're pretty happy to have it. But let's say like you draw it as your 4th land or something, then it's a little less fun, a little less good.
Right.
So maybe just 1 of them. But he's got a lot of hits. So I don't know. I also, a lot of these style of decks I have to try before I can be like, oh yeah, this is better, this is not. That guy just did not want anything. He did not want to go down.
Achka runs out of his cell and disappears down the hall.
Sorry about missing that key the first time, adding like doubling the amount of time in the quest. I don't know. The other big thing is I don't know if I even want absorbs anymore in my list.
I think Absorb's still good.
So
It really helps against like the mono red decks.
it is, and it's good. The problem has been for me, again, like against the mono red decks, I need a sensor instead or something. Something that costs less to kind of get in there and get going. Which is part of the reason I really like the Dovin's Vetoes. He does not like the Dovin's Vetoes in the main. I like the Dovin's Vetoes a lot. But I could understand wanting to put more counterspells in, but he's down to 3 counterspells. I don't even know. At 3, do you even bother anymore? Just have them all on your sideboard if you want them. But Urza's Ruinous Blast is good.
I never liked the Fate Wishes for a counterspell kind of play. I just feel like
Well,
that's a wasted
I
play.
wouldn't plan on from that. I would only really have. So his Fey Wishes, I would cut the emergency powers as a Fey Wish option. I would approach the Second Sun, an Elspeth, a Supreme Verdict, maybe a Seal Away, and then everything else would be basically, for actual sideboard slots, I think. Like, that's part of what I'm trying to do now, is to figure out how many... I want to get my sideboard slots for wishing down. And my, actually figuring out what are the numbers that I bring in and bring out often enough, so I can figure out, okay, do I need to have piles of 3? Do I need to have piles of 2? So I can get an idea. Because right now, it seems like I can't sideboard more than 2 or 3 cards at a time. Maybe you bring in a Rest in Peace goes in the sideboard. That's a card that I need to actually probably add. It's casting at us now. We have to deal with it. Oh, it didn't die. Alright, Tlab, are you a Clash Star? Because we were just here, I'm not really sure where to go. Oh wait, here's a door. Never mind.
This door
Yeah, I'm glad I could help you out.
Doesn't take a Clash Star. We're actually talking about Crisis this weekend. That's who I do that joke in honor of. But yeah, we were actually talking, wondering how he's doing. We haven't heard from him in a while. Need to try to track him down again.
The air shimmers with heat from the machinery in this chamber. You hear shuffling from the ledges above.
But feel free to leave your thoughts in the Discord thing for him, and I'll tell him that you had some inputs. If any of you also happen to be DDO, or not DDO players, and you're already DDO players likely if you're watching the stream. If you also happen to be Magic the Gathering players, and you see something obvious in this historic list, this Pioneer / historic list, feel free to
Oh, there's a big difference, man.
format wise, yes, but again, that's what I don't know, I don't like them even having the 2 different things.
I don't either, but you know, in you know, the interest of fairness.
Supposedly it takes some time to roll things out, but then they'll turn around and also happen to have like a whole bunch of Power 9 stuff and a whole bunch of like crazy cards from Magic's past on the arena already.
But their presence here troubles you. Ruku must hear of this.
Feel like they could probably tighten up a little bit.
That event was a lot of fun, though.
It was good. I'm not poo-pooing the event. I did lose some games though, which I felt was kind of odd. Like games that I really...
That you lost games?
Huh?
You thought it was odd that you lost games?
Yeah. Well, usually the games, like... Let me rephrase. A lot of times you keep your opening hand, and you go, okay, this hand seems like the nuts. And then you mulliganed. And then if you get to a point where you... Like, the hand is not good, you know that you've already lost, typically before you even draw. Or not before you draw, but before you start to play. Like, the hand was just not very good, right? A lot of the hands that I kept felt like the nuts. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this 4-drop on turn 1 or whatever,
Right.
you know. And I remember thinking I kept more hands that were the nuts than I kept hands that were like mediocre. And then when I ended up losing a lot of those games, I was like, wow, that seems really odd. So I remember feeling that I lost a lot of games, even though it felt unlikely when I kept the hand that was going to be the case.
Right.
You know, when you like Mox into, you know, like a sweet 2-drop and they don't answer it, then you're like, all right, I gotcha. And then all of a sudden like one game, I was playing against the white deck, because I think you had to match up against the opposing deck, right?
You did, and that's what made the queue time super long.
Yeah, I think people figured out that the white deck was actually better. And so at one point, I had like had my opponent down to basically nothing on the field or whatever, and I had him at like 4 life, and then he was able to like wrath my board away, and then every card basically that I drew he was able to remove out of nowhere, and then he just like played a whole bunch of those 3/3s that give each other +1/+1, and then like I didn't have a way to close things out after having like turn 1 Ashiok or something. I don't even remember. Like, I just remember having like something crazy where I felt like there's no way to lose this game, and then it happened. I was like, wow, I can't believe I lost that. You know, that's the kind of comment I mean. But also, yes, I don't lose a lot of Magic. Not when I'm playing like in a fair environment. My issue is I often play super one-sided because I don't enjoy playing quote-unquote fair decks. I like playing like these weird oddball things.
Right.
You hear heavy breathing and guttural laughter.
Alright, let's see if this guy is here. I think he's going to be here. He is not here. We should just shut this door and leave.
Yeah, there's a streamer that I watched that one of his big problems is that he really enjoys playing the fair decks. And like he'll be like playing like a super fair deck in like Modern and Legacy. And it's like you just can't play fair decks in those kind of formats.
Yeah. Well,
He's like, hey guys, we're playing Soul Sisters tonight on stream, and I'm like, well, you're about to go like, 0-8.
Sometimes Soul Sisters is good.
Yeah, there's a key word in that sentence, though.
Yeah, there's definitely sometimes. Like, it depends on the particular ebb and flow of the meta.
Yeah.
For the given time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how good it is right now. It doesn't seem particularly good.
I've always thought it was like a tier 3 deck.
I don't know. I feel like it's up and down. It's just like, people always told me, because I was on Eldrazi and Taxes for a long time. People always told me, oh, that deck's bad, it's a tier 3 deck, blah, blah, blah. And then I started filling with another deck, kind of out of nowhere. And then, like, the week after I started playing oh god, I don't know what you call it now. A prison deck type thing where you can't, red, white prison.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, somebody takes down like a GP handily with like 2 cards different to my list. Like, oh wow, this deck's so good. I'm like, you guys. And then it became all the rage for like in my local metal for I don't know, like a month or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because some other pro decided to play it at a thing. And I had already put it away here, not because they were giving me a hard time about it, but because I felt like I was winning too large a percentage of the modern tournaments with it. Because again, that's literally not my job. My job is not to win everything. My job is to make sure that the environment stays fun. Just part of my problem with modern is that, at least at the arena, is everybody has their like modern deck, with the exception of like one person. So you see so and so here, they're going to be playing this deck. There's one or two people who have more than one modern deck. Couple of collectibles. I know, it's definitely one of the challenges that I'm going to be going through here pretty soon, is figuring out what to keep and what to let go, because I might have to become one of those people that only has like one of X kind of deck pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I won't be able to carry it around.
To the south lies the entrance to the caves of the Grey Moon Ogre Clan.
Pony! Yeah. There's enough of this, like, run around back and forth to get the quest advanced bullshit. The pony's great. Should go back in time and slap old Samius, who was like, I don't think we need these ponies.
They're pretty good.
So I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in some of my guildies here.
In the hollow to the north, wait
The ladies were on. I'm 8 and they're 7. But we're like in range, so we could have played together. So I'm like, if you guys would like, I'm doing some 6s just on R1. If you guys would like to just tag in for some XP, I don't think they play on R1 at all. I think they just play on Elite still.
I mean, Reaper can be intimidating for people that don't do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going on.
Like,
I
noticed that with a lot of people, where I'll be like, hey, I'm doing, Reaper 3, and they're like, ooh, I do Reaper once,
Yeah. Well, and again, if you're a melee...
Well, like, I was in on, what was it, yesterday, I had one of my guildmates, right? I was like, hey, I'm going to do some Reapers, some Ravenloft Reapers, if you want to join me. And he's like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And then, like, he gets to the quest, and he's like, oh, you're on R3? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't know that I can handle R3. And I'm like, well, what are you playing? He's like, I'm on Inquisitive. And I'm like, oh, you're fine. And he's like, no, I only do R1s. I'm like, okay. You could just stay in the back and, hang out. Like, I solo R3s. It's not that big of an issue,
It's... Depending on your build, it definitely makes a huge difference.
He was on what I would consider a pretty optimized build.
Well, then he just doesn't have the confidence. That's a requirement too.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. Like I said, it's like, man, it would be great to be able to actually play together. We haven't played together for ages.
Right.
It would have been great. But,
the gate on the far
like,
side
no, we're gonna go do our 5s.
You hear faint snarling from the darkness beyond.
Okay. picked up a sheet of armor here. Have to remember that. At least one armor. I also found a guy in Kansas City, a little town close, like a suburby type place in Kansas City, I think, actually, who cuts and dries his own lumber.
Mm-hmm.
And he was selling some pretty interesting and attractive cuts of it was maple that I was looking at that would have been great, I think, for one of the counters. It was like 22 inches wide along most of the. It was like a Y piece, except it didn't. It was more like a triangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except the like the not wide piece is actually pretty long, like a Y.
Mm-hmm.
And the Y piece was like 22 inches, which is pretty tiny for a counter in a lot of homes, but it's pretty close to right in a counter in a tiny home. And then the wide piece, once it widened out, was like 48 inches, which is about what I was thinking was going to be the. It's actually a little bit narrower than the what I currently have, I think, allotted for the bathroom. So it would have fit in, I think, pretty much perfect along that back wall, and then it was relatively flat. So it forked out like this. I don't know if that's even making sense. So like this, the back wall would have been relatively straight, just a little bit of trimming to make it fit. And I think it would have worked really well. And they only wanted like $75 for that particular one. If I could have brought it home, I think I would have went and tried to pull the trigger on it.
So I got one complaint now on the Arena Mastery system.
Okay.
So they set it so that like the big reward, quote unquote, is at level 100, right? You get the sleeves and all that stuff, right? And then they have like little rewards after that. Well, they go like basically like gold, rare, mythic, gold, rare, mythic, right? Until the very end when they're like, hey, you can get infinite uncommons. And that seems kind of weird.
Well,
like you can earn an uncommon basically a day, and that just seems, I don't know, it seems kind of weak as a reward, you know.
Caves of the Grey Moon Ogre clan, driven out by trolls.
yeah, I don't know. Because if you think about it like this, though, right, from the other side, you say, because these are wild cards you unlock, right?
No, these are random cards, not wild cards.
Okay, so you get a random uncommon every day.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're sitting there, you're playing. Once things are done, you're just like sitting there, filling up the rest of your collection with shit you already don't like, stuff you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me. It would be good if there was like randomly you could get a rare, or randomly you could get a,
right.
you know,
What
like
about
maybe.
people like me that have every uncommon unlocked, you know?
Well, then you should be getting some sort of reward.
Right, and I'm not.
Oh, you just get nothing?
I get a random uncommon that gives me like 0.001% towards my vault that I never open.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that kind of. I suspect it makes sense for a lot of people. You just might be the people who are on the outlier. It doesn't make sense for.
Maybe.
Because like I said, if it was wild cards, it would make a lot of sense to me. Because then you're like building up for unlocking your uncommon common set when the new set comes out.
Right, and that
But
would make sense to me as well.
I also understand the idea of like, okay, well you've ground through, you've like John, for example, right? LJ.
Mm-hmm.
He plays, he does his quests every day, he does all his things, and then but he doesn't really buy decks, he doesn't really change. He has like, he's got a couple so he can like knock out his quests, but he doesn't invest in it. He's basically just there to play and have fun. He like puts together one deck every season, basically, sometimes two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his main thing. Like right now he's doing a lot of Gruul aggro.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so for him, if he unlocked his mastery thing, it would be really good for him to like unlock that uncommon every day. To just start backfilling in his collection. And I think there's a lot more people like LJ out there playing Arena than people like you, for example, who invested in the $50 pack. Or I like invested in the $50 pack. But like you do your quests every day, basically. You play through all the stuff. I don't even do that. I feel lucky now if I clear out quests, like 3 quests once a week. Log on, clear them out. So I feel like there's probably more LJs out there than U's.
Yeah.
So it's hard to develop a system that would do work for both of us. I mean, if we're just being honest. Alright. What else? I think old Red Willows. I heard that I probably missed the opportunity to ride around in Red Willows on my horse.
You did. They fixed it.
But it would have been fun.
It was fun.
Patrolling monsters have trampled
Made that
paths
quest
and
very
twisted
fast.
patterns through the lush jungle.
Well, that's probably part of the reason why they changed it. Although I don't know why. I feel like these quests that are outdoorsy need to be
5 haggard-looking halflings
Have
can be
horseable.
spied through the thick jungle
Mhm.
foliage. Red Willow spun a clever tale, asking you to an important
All right.
missive has been handed over to your party.
I don't know if we're gonna do
Somewhere
this
in the
optional.
jungle,
Probably
a
not.
emissary awaits. Trolls bar the way ahead. Among them is a chance in whose eyes
Don't happen to have a couple of the festive augments laying around, do you?
Which ones?
The festive intelligence and festive wisdom.
I think I have 1 or 2 of each.
reeking of rotting meat and
Because
roasted
I did not
flesh.
get those, and I could
Several
really
garrisons
use
strewn throughout the area.
the ant and the wisdom one.
Post well-armed patrols that scour the
I'll
area.
have to look and see.
Okay.
I said I know that I got a couple for when characters got over a certain level, but I don't think I've used them anywhere. I have 2 intelligence and 1 wisdom. Those are all the ones that I built. So I could probably spare 1
The
for
sand shifts to reveal a
until it
small
comes back
brood of
around
lynx.
again and you can earn 1 back.
Alright, I appreciate it.
Again, I probably did them the first year they were available, and they've sat in my backpack since they're not doing anything. But it's one of the things that I don't have to grind like crazy because I
Trolls
just
huddle
don't need
together
them
in the jungle here.
Right.
Destroy them before they make a
because
peep.
I've already ground them out. ears are
Bear
cold.
and hobgoblin assassins peer hungrily from the dark corners of the jungle.
Oh, you gave me the bad thing. Alright, come here, you.
Hey, what?
Oh, he lowered my strength.
Oh, okay.
Which is the bad things. Nobody likes that.
I just got an email from Spotify basically begging me to come back.
I canceled my stuff because I'm not sure what happened,
You overhear a guttural
but something happened and they were charging $10 to.
is far too near our own outpost. We must
So for those of you who don't know, I buy Spotify for
what was that?
Remy. Basically, he like uses it when he drives back and forth to, because he doesn't work in the same town as he goes to school, and because it's way less bandwidth than him like listening to YouTube as he drives back and forth. So, but you can get like a student program, and it's $5 a month, but it also includes like a Hulu account and a Showtime account. But for some reason they changed it to $10, put us on a different plan, and that $10 also didn't include the Hulu. Like they disabled the Hulu account. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Because he doesn't use the Hulu account.
And chortles loudly.
So I was going to let my mother-in-law use the Hulu account. She's like, yeah, it just doesn't work anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah, this is like, hey, come back for $9.99 for 3 months, and you get a basically Google Alexa knockoff.
Yeah.
You have recovered
I'm like, well,
all
I
of
mean,
the lost
if I had the $10, that might be somewhat interesting.
Send them to the confines of Red Willow's camp.
Like, go on there for 3 months and then cancel it.
Right.
Just get a Google Mini for $9.99.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
say-
don't know.
Like, I'm looking at the fine print. Doesn't say anything about like, hey, if you cancel, you have to send it back.
Right. No, most of those things that cost too much to send back anyway. It's all part of their get you hooked on X kind of thing. There's a. I mean, you know all about marketing stuff, but like for those of you out there watching, a lot of times if you get a lower price on a particular kind of thing, but you end up needing to really share that kind of thing across multiple rooms, you'll end up
Items to their caretaker.
buying more relatively often if you like it.
First hit's free.
Red Willow
Yeah,
has opened the
exactly.
gate, at least. Red Willow's gateway deposits you into the center of a long, overgrown ruin.
It's really funny that yeah, being a drug dealer is a bad thing, but they got a good marketing sense at least. You kind of have to for that kind of job,
Well, I'm
right?
sure somebody has. Somebody did, right? Now they just set the norm.
Yeah.
What I've always never understood about that particular kind of profession is if you're able to keep your shit together, which I guess is the real secret, is that you know that they don't. If you're in an environment that you can, I suppose it's also a heavily trust-based environment, right? So couldn't you just live off of free samples for a long time? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I guess it depends on how many drug dealers you know and how many of those drug dealers know each other. You know?
Exactly.
You have found your way to the giant
Like the supply chain cannot be that organized. Speaking of supply chain and that organized, something that you probably won't hear about, there was a raid in Long Island by ICE. I think it was Long Island. Took out 280 MS-13 members, and they are now basically calling that network crippled. We'll see how long it lasts, but temporarily crippling a major crime ring in a place you don't necessarily think about as like a crime-infested area, Long Island.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those things though are getting to the point when they're like, you know, they're more organized as far as like being in neighborhoods that you definitely wouldn't expect it, you know?
Yeah. We'll go where the money is, right? Money's not in the streets anymore of the cities. The
Right.
monies are out in the neighborhoods. All right. Are you ready for this, or did you move on to something else?
Oh, I'm just sitting around. Where you at?
Well, I'm in House Drasco. I'm picking up the Sleepless Nights quest right now, so if you wish them to get them, you know where to be.
Yep, I'm coming right now. Baxter away.
I don't know, we may actually wrap up the stream pretty significantly early today. I am both still exhausted. My head has been right at that like weird point for the last couple of days where it really wants me to be asleep. I have found when I ignore that for too long that is no bueno.
Thanks, man.
Yep. If I recall, you can do this very, very quickly and efficiently. Not that I'm good at doing it this way.
A musty scent fills the air. The only obvious exit
Let's see what we
lies
can make
behind
happen.
it.
I don't care about this treasure chest though. Just want the door to open. I do not understand all these undead heartbeats tied to doors.
Alright, that puts me up to an 86 intelligence now.
You hear the
At
gruesome
what level?
sound of flesh and
30.
sinew being torn.
That does not seem good enough.
Yeah, no, but I also didn't do a lot of like intelligence enhancements. Like I've got every with that I've got every bonus now except for I could get one more with quality 5. But I've got exceptional, I've got insightful. Yeah, I've got every bonus. Intelligence 22, exceptional intelligence, festive intelligence.
The scratching noises and the dull sound of screaming.
You have your
The iron golems beyond the barrier shifts.
quote unquote store pots
Your loud scream of
from your
This is surely the noise that mirrored described.
fragment turn-ins.
No potions.
Always try to get those. The hell was that? That was a weird sound. Not this one. Huh.
Yeah, sorry, it's my phone ringing.
You hear the
Oh,
sound of
okay.
bones
That's fine.
scraping.
It sounded like someone leaning back in a chair and sighing real big. I'm like, what the hell?
No.
Swords charged with
My remnant guy. Is there stuff in the remnants for that?
Yeah, you can turn in remnants for the potions.
Hmm.
They're just one potion, like one stat at a time, but
Uh-huh.
I mean that's what I do. Oh, I didn't get any Reaper experience because I'm dumb.
Well, I also wonder if I can fit it into my build to take some of the intelligence, like out of the the trees, you know?
Probably would not be the worst idea. And of course, you know, I've said it for a long time. I think the best racials to do are your int white racials first. You'll use int on every single build.
Actually, I'm only missing one. Like I could take one out of battle engineer and get another point of int there. And then my gnome, I don't have my gnome intelligence stuff, but that's gonna come through racial, racial points.
Right.
And then Harper tree, there's a couple in there that I need. But I mean, my points are a little thin because, like, inquisitive, you want to take 42 points inquisitive. And then battle engineer, you want to be able to get up to fuselage.
Alright, so let me see here. This is saying that, according to the wiki, Creative War, I can't sign into my Twitch on my PS4, keep getting an error, so you're using the phone to chat. I'm good, man. How are you? I often use my phone to chat, to be honest, to the Twitch people. Where did it say? I felt like I saw that they thought the theoretical maximum, accurate through U35, sustainable intelligence is 118.
Okay.
No, that is situational. 109 is sustainable, but that is in Magister using a Sun Elf, Deep Gnome, or a Gnome. So probably not that.
Yeah, see,
But you should probably be near 100, I'd imagine.
Well, I'm in Sharadi, and Sharadi has no intelligence-based stuff. Right. I think I'm just about it. I mean, like, I'm not going to twist in intelligence because the ones I have for my twists are a Dance of Flowers, which gives me plus to my weapon damage, extra action boost, which is going to give me more no-hole bar, meld into darkness, which is going to be my oh shit button, and then sense weakness, which is, just good in general.
They changed Dance of Flowers to not require being centered.
Yes. So that's a tier 1 twist that's going to give you +1 to your weapon damage.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
And then since I'm in Sharadi and I'm able to make things helpless so much, then since weakness is just that much more damage,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, like, I think I'm pretty much at the max intelligence that I can be at right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Without racial past lives, of course.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just saying that I feel, because you're just under 90, I feel like you should be much closer to 100, I think. But at 30.
I mean, if you think that you can move my enhancements around a little bit,
I don't know. I'd have to. I have not played with it. I'm just telling you from like listening to some of the other things. When did they add mounts? A couple updates back. They added them there. I didn't bring a shield one. They're pretty good. We were literally talking about how much better they are than I originally gave them credit for. Not that long ago. Yeah, I don't know. I have not studied the enhancements for a long time, Tlab. I'm just saying that I feel like some of the comments that I have heard lately, mostly out of beef, is that you're trying to get around 100.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100 should be your... And again, I don't know if you want to be like sacrificing X, Y, or Z to get there. So it sounds lower to the. And again, I have not taken anyone to 30 in a while. So grain of
Well,
salt.
I know I can squeeze 2 more in through racial past lives by getting, well, actually it's 4 more, because I would get 2, there's 2 races that give intelligence, right? And then you will get at least 2 points doing that, which is going to send me over to the intelligence course in Gnome.
Right.
So that's 4 more. That puts me to 90.
Yeah, see, then that is significantly closer. Because then you can potion to 92.
Ocean to 92, and then you go pot to 94.
Yeah, see, and then you're at least close to where we were kind of close to where I was thinking, at least.
But also, how sustainable are those potions? So you know what I mean. If you're drinking a potion every 30 minutes, you know.
They're, I don't know about the Yugo pots, but the fragment ones they're an hour. I said I was using them pretty significantly in the
Do they
on the hardcore server.
they go away when you die, or they stay?
No.
They stay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay. Because I was over there looking at them, I was like, man, 250 remnants a piece. That is kind of steep, you know. But,
Oh no, I don't know. In my mind, that's a sweet deal.
I mean, I guess it depends on how many remnants you have, right? Because I have like 10,000 remnants, but
I literally just turned in like 20,000 remnants or something for Java, and I'm already. I cashed in most of what I had. I'm already back to like nearly a stack of 5,000 between Samus and Java again, maybe more.
yeah. But I've also been trying to get my tomes too, because remember I'm behind on all that stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I did. I cashed in almost all the tomes on Java or for Java.
Right.
So I'm just restocking back up now. He doesn't have all the tomes yet, but he's got a big chunk of them now.
I think I've got all the ones that I want on Tolab, because let's see, which ones do I have? So I have the magical resistance 2 times, the physical resistance 2 times, the ranged power 2 times. So I don't think there's any really that I need past that.
It sounds like
Like
you're
I could
pretty close.
I could go to the 3 ones and the 4 ones, but those cost Threads of Fate, and I don't want to spend yet.
Oh yeah,
so.
that reminds me. I don't have the 3 ones and the 4 ones now. I don't remember what you need. Something else to get to those. That
Get Threads of Fate.
yeah, I don't have those.
But also, one other thing that I'm missing that a lot of people do is that they're putting, they're using filigrees and stuff to increase their main stat, and I'm not using that because I'm trying to get the damage out of the filigrees. Like, I don't even think that the crack shot even has an intelligence filigree.
Yeah, I don't know that much about that stuff. Again, those are things that. Again, I'm sure it has something to do with all that stuff, you know? Maximize your number. Let's back up. Oh, let's go get this collectible. There's a slight chance I'm due to be able to like ninja my way through the whole quest. I'm due, but see if we actually make it.
Hey, everybody.
You notice a
Hey,
note
buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
near a
Same
mangled
build.
body
I mean, Long Shadow has an
there.
intelligence
Chill
one, so I could
passes
use the
through
Long
as
Shadow.
Skeletons rise behind the bars to the sides of the room. They don't look entirely solid.
There we go. That was a pretty smooth run. Couldn't have gone too much better. We didn't get locked in any of those rooms, and we were able to make it into the last room without getting locked out. pretty good. Still feel like if I learn that they are not working on some sort of motorcycle like steampunky cart thing, elemental powered, I will be really disappointed in them.
Pirate.
Yeah, if you don't step on any of the bones, like the actual bones, then you can move around.
Bone.
What?
Ancestors' bones.
That's right. Don't step on the ancestors' bones.
That's not nice.
Yeah, they don't like it. They close doors on you.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
then try to murder you.
If you're really careful, you can maneuver around like that. It's not very foolproof, and I feel like it depends a lot more on lag than I care to admit, but because if it's lagged or you're off center or the game has you just even a little bit off of where it thinks you're at, then you could be like, man, I made that, I don't understand, and then the game's like, no, you were 6 inches forward
off.
or
yeah.
So it's an easy one to not get, even though it looks like you should.
I also don't have my racial completionist either.
I don't have that one either, though.
Well, no, I'm thinking of different bonuses where my int is like low, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, racial completionist, that adds what, a total of 4?
Sort of. Usually by the time you get your racial completionist, you've unlocked enough points that you can pick up all the ones in the bottom.
Right, well, I mean, but you get
Also,
2 from the intelligence-based ones, and then you get another 2 just from having the racial completionist, right?
I don't know. I have not gotten there. But I understand that to be the case.
Okay.
Let's kill the ghostly skeletons first, and then we'll do the archers last. I don't know if that is correct, but that's what we'll do.
Right, you came back.
Rhett came back.
And he's gone
the
again.
very next day.
And he's gone.
Lorette came back, but he couldn't stay.
I guess.
Alright, sweet. We guessed correctly this time. Do we want to do all the optionals? This quest is a lot of experience, but it's also just very fast. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do all the optionals. It's been a while since we've done them all. And I may have to switch hats in a minute, which will suck, because I want the brim. It'll block some of the extra light. It is chilly in the Garobo household today. So it is fairly obvious to me now that the wife knows about the gift we got her for her birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a... So Amazon, she signed up for some sort of notifications on her phone. And she's been watching the various packages like a hawk this time of year, like, you know, like she does.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh yeah, your one package will be delivered on Sunday. And I'm like, alright, sweet. You know, like, seems strong. But she keeps referencing it as... Come right here, Ellery. Right here. Alright, perfect. But she keeps referencing it in a little bit of a weird way. And then it turns out that they're not shipping all those things together. Go to Finfergie. Come on. Fergie cast a spider. Ah, perfect. We did it. So there's a couple of tricks to that one that's not always super obvious to everybody. But sometimes if you summon a summon standing next to that button remotely, it'll push it. Or if you have one hireling go to defend the other one, and they have to run across the button as the quickest way to get there, you'll often get that to hit as well. I do not know which way actually worked in this particular scenario. I imagine it was probably the summoning of the spiders would probably did it. Oh, speaking of
Man, you got an elephant coming here.
Yeah, right?
How much does your home insurance charge you for that?
Oh, they don't know about it.
Oh, okay.
In the event that there's any damage, we'll just claim it was Remy the whole time. Yeah, a lot of people don't... when you solo a quest, you have to look at it differently than when you're not soloing the quest. So, since I primarily solo... Not necessarily because I prefer it, although I typically do. It's just... it's much less stressful for me to not have to worry about anybody else's, like... Do they know what they're doing? Do I have to worry about their life? Which is why I tend to play with just people who watch the stream. Because I feel like the people who watch the stream know what the score is, and if they die, well then that was on them for volunteering to be here. But I'm gonna try doing some more pugging over the new year.
I don't know. I feel like pugging's really good for the stream.
Well, I like the idea of putting in the advertisement for the stream in the LFM.
There's a couple of times when like I won't get a pug group, but then I'll notice my numbers are going up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I won't get people to actually join the group, but they will go watch. You know?
Right. Well, and I feel like that's a lot of times you'll see like Noob. He'll have an LFM up, but he'll just be on his own doing stuff. I do think it's a good marketing tool.
Well, like especially if I'm doing like middle-ish Reaper, like Reaper 3 or 4, you know?
Yeah.
And like I will. That's especially when I'm like nobody wants to join, but they're gonna go watch, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mostly solo because again, for me, it's a stress thing. I don't have to worry about herding cats. I just go about it. Doesn't mean that I won't play with people. Again, if anyone's on the Solona server and you want to join the LFM, or the group, you're welcome to be level appropriate and send me a message or whatever. I'll be happy to bring you into the group.
I'm mostly solo because I'm usually dragging Rhett through, and I don't like to hug with a dual boxing account.
Yeah. Let's see, we have.
Although I have been joining Voodoo quite often, like if he's streaming Like, hey, try doing a gibbers run. Like, I'll pop both characters in just for an extra pool,
Yeah.
Because me and Rhett both have our gibbers. We don't need it, So I'd rather jump in, try to get somebody else their gibbers,
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's something we should do with Java. Is get his gibbers.
Yeah, well, he's still pre-20. You would solo if you had a character that's able. So every character is able of soloing.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on your mindset and how you want to play.
Right.
So, like, there's no hard and fast rules really, but especially this time of year, there's a lot of really interesting things you can do to set up to make soloing easier for you.
Don't feel like you have to rush through everything either. Just go at your own pace.
Yeah. So, like, right now, probably sometime next month, usually after the festival stuff, they'll have the icy games. Excuse me. And every year I always keep an eye out for like interesting not name loot, but interesting random gen loot that I would use at different levels for different builds. So very often I feel like I'm oh jeez, this is gonna be interesting. So like for example, I found I think it was like a king something rapier that goes off on crit, and I went it was level 1 or 2 I think. I go, do I want, maybe it's even still on this character, do I want a icy burst keen rapier of something, I don't remember what it was, something reasonably good at level 2? Like how often will I use that?
Mm-hmm.
And I especially keep an eye out for like low level Vorpal crossbows. So like right now, if I was going to be doing a bunch of TRing as an Inquisitive, I'd be keeping a serious eye out for like good Vorpal light crossbows, heavy crossbows, etc. Because especially after coming off the hardcore server, I felt like I had kept a lot, and they're definitely there. So trying to, especially this time of year, putting together like low level gear is really solid. And honestly, that's the hard part of leveling solo, is finding good enough gear that you can use at low levels to make the soloing possible. Like, no one has a problem soloing once you're level 12 and you have green steel items while you're running around doing level 10 quests on Reaper. People have trouble doing Reaper 1 quest at level 4.
Yeah, I don't use green steel anymore. Like the Ravenloft gear is just too good to not use it.
I still use a lot of my green steel stuff here and there. It's kind of sporadic.
Yeah, I never use it.
But especially like my weapons, I still use my green steel weapons pretty consistently.
Right.
But like, I have Concordant bracers that I built years and years and years ago. They still often work their way into Ravenloft sets pretty easily.
Yeah.
I have a green steel hat. So that's obviously an easy one to work into, because there's no hats from Ravenloft. So like a lot of my stuff happened to luck sack its way into easy builds.
Yeah, I made my so I have concordant goggles, which that's kind of a weird spot for it, and then I have a concordant min to hit point cloak, and like the cloaks is like a weird, like really
Yeah,
weird.
cloak
Like,
slot's hard. Tobrel had a min 2 cloak slot as well. At a lot of the early time, the cloak was a good spot to
mm-hmm.
to put that stuff, but now obviously the cloaks have gotten a massive bump with the Ravenloft stuff.
And I think I need to just go through and get shards again and just remake stuff and like fit it into my gear a little bit better, you know?
Probably.
Because I have just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ingredients, but it's the shards that I'm short on. Mainly because I just don't have the space in my TR cache.
Yeah, you just gotta take a life and go do a couple. Like, you could probably go solo most of the Shroud now, if not all of the Shroud now.
I'm sure I could solo the entire shroud.
And then you just, like, you know, every 3 days, it's kind of becomes part of your ETR rituals. Like, alright, well, did I do a Shroud this, you know,
Oh
this
man,
handful of days?
MTG Goldfish is encroaching on Nimmin's territory now.
Oh yeah, they're doing live chats.
No, it's Mary Nivmis.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's like Nimmin
You
territory,
must be
right?
casting new visits today.
I guess, but Mary Nivmis, that sounds very much like like, you know, Nim with his Mary Nimmis.
Yeah. Well, let's just say that Nim's fiefdom is not so large that I think he could defend it from MTG Goldfish. Yeah, I don't know what they pay Seth, but it's probably not enough. I feel like that website is literally built off the back of his personality.
Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is that they've got a viewer in there that he comes in and just drops gift subs like they're like, you know, falling out of his pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, there was somebody that I don't remember who's, maybe it was there. I was watching a replay or something, but somebody had like they had a gift sub counter. It was like well over 1,000.
Oh yeah, this guy. It was funny because this guy he goes, he comes in, drops 1,000 gift subs, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh man, I was taunting the guy that usually does gift subs. I'm like, man, Tanos, you gotta let that happen. And it was just like Tanos is gifted 1,000 subs, and then like the other guy was like, such and such is gifted another 1,000 subs, and it's just like, okay, this is getting a little out of hand.
Like, you guys want to come to my channel and gift some subs? That'd be sweet.
Right?
But
I tell people all the time, like, like, where's my Coke Gaming, you know?
yeah, well, that's just it. I would like to get Coke Gaming to hit me up once.
Just once, man. That's like life changing, you know?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm generous or happy for the people who are good enough to keep us going now. So I'm not gonna go cray cray. But yeah, it'd be pretty sweet to even just know somebody who got like the big ding dings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the difference between having a platform with, you know, what, probably 5 million people watching or hitting their various content up. Like, how many subscribers does he have on YouTube? I'm sure he's more than a million subscribers at least on YouTube. All that stuff gets replayed because that's how they roll there. Let me see, MTG Goldfish. Oh no, MTG Goldfish only has 250,000 subscribers. MTG replay is less. Wow, I'm really surprised. I would assume they'd have much bigger audiences than that. Let's get these guys knocked out. Move back to the Lyra.
You have recovered Jail's journal, which describes the last moments in the church's investigation.
Alright, how are we doing here? I'm gonna switch hats. I think it's time. My ears are freezing. I need to get one of these beanies with a brim on it. For days like today. I don't know, maybe next life I do Inquisitive Wizard build and like pug the whole thing and do like R5s. I guess
R5s, do R10s.
I don't know if I could solo R10s all the way up to 20. I can do R5s on a wizard pretty easy. Or I was doing R5s on my wizards pretty easy. Alright. Alright, never mind. I can never keep these quests all straight. But I feel like when you're on a melee person, you really don't want to push yourself and go more than like an R1 or an R3. R3, if you can, I think once you get your Ravenloft stuff, you can probably step it up a little bit. But before that, I have a hard time going above R1 below level 10. Or above R1 at level 10 by myself. If I had 2 or 3 people with me, I would have no problem doing bigger Reapers, but
Yeah, I tend to do like R3s by myself, but you know,
not on melees, you don't. Get your monk out. Let's go. TR into a monk. Let's do it.
No, that's cool.
A bright flame flares upwards as the first soul lock is opened.
I said I have no problems teasing people about ow, somebody's hurting. Was it him? It must have been him. Must have been a bad man. If someone's like, yeah, I'm gonna melee, I want to do R1, like, to me that's totally justifiable. I get it. It's so tough sometimes if you're when you gotta get up there. Like the difference with for those of us on the hardcore server that was doing it, trying to do melee stuff on Reaper versus the ranged. I mean, clearly our ranged stuff is what lived, right? Like the big range caster guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the and everyone else died, so a soulless Soullock Guardian. Could that even exist?
2 soul locks are now
I feel like Favor Flail.
I don't know. I always like the ones that are like really on the nose when you got like plain born fire elemental.
See, that seems to make more sense to me. The ones that hit the fire stuff. But favorite flails. Like the ice soul fire elementals.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't you just kill yourself? With
You'd
that
think,
kind
right?
of... Or soulless ghosts. Like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. That'd be like a boneless skeleton. Or, like an Archon undead. Like, no, 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 no. These things do not go together. Your peanut butter does not get in my jelly. Another soulless soul guardian. Come here. Where'd you go? Come on, let's wrestle.
You want to wrestle?
Third soul
wrestle.
lock is open. 2 more locks, and Delira will be released.
So, we want to hear something pretty sweet. Awful lot of Magic the Gathering pros are going on about how now, after Oko is gone, they're starting to bemoan how complicated the format was and how such a good card it was to play with because it was an extremely difficult card to play correctly. Find that to be incredibly amusing. But I've read several chains this weekend, Twitter chains and stuff about people going on about how it was a terrible mistake. It never should have been printed, but it led to incredibly complex and interesting games. But the card was like, geez, guys.
I disagree that the games were ever interesting.
I don't know. Again, to play the games where one person had an Oko and the other person did not were very tough. Like early, like turn 2 Oko, those games were not interesting. But turns where like an Oko came up on turn 6, or games where I drop a turn 2 Oko and then you turn around and drop a turn 2 Oko, those games were very complicated and interesting.
You hear the whispers of faint female voice. As the
I don't know. Knowing now that the knowing now that Happily Ever After dig 5 deep instead of 3 deep. So I thought it was 3. I didn't realize it was 5. That card was probably the problem.
Once Upon a Time, you mean?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time. Sorry.
Yeah, Happily Ever After is a jank win condition.
Oh, where you like win with the planar wide celebration to make the token? Yeah, okay. People always want something, once it's removed, they're filled with regret. The circle of life. Yeah, sort of. I mean, again, this was it was just very prevalent because it was an extremely powerful card. Like, it was a whole nother level of powerful, really, from Magic's past. Like, it was definitely a power creep forward. Like, not just a creep, it was a big step.
It was a leap.
I don't know if it was a leap.
Oh, it was
Definitely a
leap.
big step. But, I think I think it would have been better if it was a ratted instead of just straight up banned. They could have tried it. But basically now they've turned a bunch of $100 piles of cardboard into practically nothing.
Feel the room's temperature fall rapidly.
I mean, unless you play Eternal formats, then you still have a $100 pile of cardboard.
Not really. The Eternal formats are so small unless you live on the East Coast. You're basically playing online. Like, online's the only place that they're... Yeah, let me look up the new price of Oko. Oh, did I just go to the wrong... Yeah, I want to go to TG Stocks, not that. Am I not spelling Oko correctly? Alright. Seems
Okay.
odd.
OKO.
Yeah, that's what it keeps wanting to go OKK. And it won't give it to me. Alright, so Oko was in... What is this set called? Throne of Eldraine, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Starts with a T.
Thief of
Now, let me get out of this quest real quick before I waste
It
a
was
bunch more
Oko
time.
Thief of Crowns.
Yeah, Thief of Crowns. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember if it was which one it was. Let me just try it again. There we go. So yeah, it's now down to $31.
Which is still very good.
At the high spot, it was $64. I don't know, man. As somebody who got them when they were, I think I paid $40, $45 a piece for most of mine, feels bad. I'm glad it's just not completely shot in the face, though. But cards that are so good that they are banned in all, like most of the formats, it seems like just, and it's on the downtrend.
Right.
It's like the one good thing was they were still playable in like they're not even modern legal anymore, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Are they still modern legal?
Mm-hmm.
They're still modern legal, I suppose. There's still a slight market.
They're modern legal. They're commander legal.
Yeah, that doesn't... I mean, don't get me wrong. Commander legal cards are still important, but they... And sometimes, like, a weird random spike will happen, but... People don't need play sets of those.
No, but
Which partially keeps the price down.
I don't know. I feel like people make more commander decks than they do like modern decks, though. So you'll end up like, yeah, you may not get a playset, but you know, you may have one person who's like, hey, I need 5 of these because I have 5 different commander decks. They're all going to have them in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like me, I made way more commander decks than I made modern decks when I was playing modern.
Yeah, but it also sounds like your competitive environments is not in the same place. It's like a lot of places are. Again, I agree with you. People tend to make fewer modern decks and then refine them.
I could be in a very competitive environment. I just choose not to, you know.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. I think we're ready to take a level, and then we can do a couple of 7s, and we'll probably wrap up a little bit early. Never got into Magic personally. I enjoy Magic a lot. I'm a person who needs an outlet for my creativity. And for a long time, Magic was that for me. And then for a long time, DDO was that for me, and Magic kind of took the back seat. And now Magic is kind of back. Mostly because I'm not cranking out a different build constantly. You know, when you're running 20 some alts or whatever, you're constantly making a bunch of builds. Now I don't really do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel the need to be as... Is that what we want to do? Yeah, probably. Get our spot back up. And we'll worry about UMD next. Yeah, okay. What do I want to do with this feat? I guess improved weapon fighting most likely is the best choice, huh? Now I do want to build this thing. But like most of my situations now, it's just like it's so on the fly. I'm not building anything in advance, so it doesn't really like it doesn't scratch my itch. I'm more problem solving than I am I think we're just gonna take this hit points over here and be done with it. Than I am like creatively making a build or whatever. Let's see. Reaper enhancements. Yeah, we have some at 9. That seems strong. Might as well, even though we're not really spending spell points on anything, but might as well. Why not? Our next tier is at 10. 10 will rearrange things. It'll be great. Alright. Do we have any gear that we care about at level 9? Not really. Just like raised dead scrolls for the NPCs, I guess. Alright, if that's the case, we're not that worried about right this minute. So we'll do a quest or two and then we'll probably wrap up a little bit early. Trying to baby my head because I have traveling to do this weekend. I really don't want to deal with migraines on top of all the traveling. It's part of the reason why my family thinks I'm a super ass. Not just because I am, but because it turns out that when I travel a whole bunch and my head starts to hurt, I become even worse. Oh, plus I may have to go power wash the refrigerator in my garage so my mother-in-law can use it. I forgot to. For those of you who were missing that drama from last week, her refrigerator broke down and it's starting to look like it is going to be practically unrepairable.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, it's going to be more than $500 for them to get it fixed. So, for their current budget and lifestyle, that's basically unrepairable. So
yeah, a lot of times it makes more sense just to buy a new one.
Well, and the thing is that one was not that old. So it is still in an extended warranty period, but obviously what got it was not a hardware problem per se. so it's the warranty is not gonna salvage it. So I'm like, well, we have that spare refrigerator in the garage that they could use. We just got to get it cleaned out.
It's got a named item, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm ever actually going to use it or not.
Oh, what is it?
So it's Insightful Corrosion 107, Quality Corrosion 53.
Is it the what was it on?
The legendary boots. Stone shoes. I'm trying to figure out if I'm ever actually going to use this or if I should just feed this to my gym.
I mean, is it mythic?
I don't think so.
Like, I feel like there's a reasonable % chance, but I also know that...
No, it's definitely not mythic, so...
Yeah, if it's not mythic, I would... And you're worried about space, I wouldn't worry about it, but...
Yeah.
If you can keep a pair, I mean... If you heard Beef, like, he's like, oh, well, I don't think I have this one on, you know, this version or whatever, and then he gets rid of the non-mythic ones as they come across. Again, unless you're like in a hurry to try to level your jewel to a certain spot.
Well, I need another 2,000 to get my 6th slot in my jewel. I'll just put them in there, whatever. Not really in any terrible amount of rush to get it, so...
I said my trash can's on its 5th or 6th slot, basically mostly from TRing. Just throw it in like Lobby stuff in it.
Right.
I get Java up there and I collect a bunch of that random ass junk. Then we'll see how much quicker it goes.
It seems like it went like way faster for me when I started getting legendary gear.
Yeah, because it's like at a time. It's a big times multiplier. It's like times 3 or times 5 or something stupid. Whoa, whoa, what was that? Is this the Skyborn guy just hitting that hard?
Pain and misery.
Sort of. Was not expecting to die today. Yeah, I mean, the caster hit some, but I don't think it hit that much.
Could this be the general manager?
Alright, we gotta get back here now.
Now the manager seeks vengeance.
We gotta get far enough back that when we die, the hireling can take us to the shrine. That's the other thing that you'll notice when you are soloing a lot, is that you have to have your plan for what happens when if you die. Gotta have that plan ready to go.
That is one nice thing about dual boxing, is that I always have a rescue.
Yeah, sometimes that is a good enough plan.
Like if I boo-boo, like I know that Red is at the beginning of the quest to come res me, you know?
Yeah. What is the other one called? Restoring the balance. Oh, receptive earth. Typically like it on restoring the balance. But we'll
He's
see
stoned.
this. He's stoned, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was scrolling through Facebook and I had that one of those freaking videos autoplay. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's alright.
The manager is dead, and the bargain bazaar is in tatters. The local merchants will no longer face competition from the blood.
Yeah, I need to remember to grab some scrolls here really quick. I guess we'll just go back to here. Like I said, we'll do one more before we take off. We will be back tonight for sure. And I'll probably be back tomorrow as well. I don't want to make too many promises about tomorrow. If we're lucky, we'll be playing Pokemon with Remington tomorrow. If we are unlucky, we'll just play DDO. But
Nice.
I want to try to get Remington in here.
When are we gonna do some post 20?
Well, right now I'm still trying to get Java. I'm waiting for times for Beef to helping Beef get to level 20. So
Okay.
I'm trying to do
I
both.
still have my level 14 ready to go, so I need to get him leveled up so I can TR him into a tank build.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm 9 now, and I'll probably have XP for 10 pretty soon, but I'll wait because a lot of the 7s are very good. Just bank a level or 2 here, but I'll be right there pretty soon. So the secret apparently to adjusting your sleep schedule is to have 13 hours of sleep. And when you wake up, 13 hours of sleep will apparently reset your day in your eternal clock. So you should be able to go back to getting your regular time again. So if you base falling asleep around getting up in your 13-hour window, it should reset your clock, supposedly. I've done it once or twice after coming off of a night shift or moving on to a night shift, and I've found it to be mostly true. I find it to be really hard to sleep for 13 hours, but I'm just one of those people that doesn't need to sleep that long. But if you can pull it off,
You ready yourself for the upcoming battle against the necromancers and their undead.
I don't know, I tend to suggest people not do it unless they absolutely have to. Because I'm pretty sure that's how I ended up getting my insomnia, is like flipping my sleep schedule around so much.
Quick and decisive moves suggest these are no
I've not heard of that. That would be an interesting, like, survey type thing, question to put on people with insomnia. How often before you felt like it was an issue, how many times did you switch your sleep schedule from like day to night or night to day?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if that's something. Because if it is, then it's probably something you can undo. I mean, honestly, you probably could. If you could put yourself in like a 3-day coma, it would would probably be a long enough term reset that a lot of shit would work itself out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get, you know, 2 or 3 really good nights of sleep, and then I'll be back to having insomnia for a night, and then my schedule's all bollocksed up again, you know.
Yeah, it's probably, like I said, that's probably, if you could like get a good solid reboot, again, it's like turning your power switch on again and off again. I feel like it'd probably fix a lot of issues. I don't know if it fixed like my head, probably not, because that's a physical thing that applies to it. But like, there are definitely days where my stutter's bad or whatever, and I feel like if I could just get a big enough reboot, I would be better again.
Well, part of my problem too is that like I function better on no sleep, do like 3 hours of sleep. So if I have insomnia night where I know I have to be up the next day, and I don't sleep till, you know, or I don't get tired till like 2 hours before I gotta get up, I just don't go to sleep, you know.
Sure, a nap is not as beneficial as actually going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It is a weird issue that I do not have a ton of experience in, because when my stuff's bad, I just like F it. But it's different because it's not. When I can't sleep or whatever, it's because the pain is such where I'm not allowed to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that issue the same as that guy, so the same as you. A few nights in a row I can sleep normal, then one night, bam, I can be so tired I can't stop yawning, my eyes are watering, but I can't sleep.
Yep. It's insomnia.
My biggest problem with stuff like that is that I can't... Like, I have to be in a particular position to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I physically can't... Like, I can lay here in my chair on those days and feel like I'm about to doze off, but I can't sleep because of in the chair. But then I go to bed and I try to get comfortable, but that not being in the chair brings the pain back, and I can't get comfortable in bed enough where the pain doesn't bother me and forces me back awake. But because I can't sleep in my chair, because it's not the position that I'm allowed to sleep in.
Oh yeah, I get that. My wife gets migraines every once in a while. Not like you, but like, you know, some. And she can't sleep in bed sometimes because it's just the pressure of laying down.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll like grab her pillow and be like, "I'm going out on the couch. Sorry. Good night."
You just can't find that spot where it doesn't hurt and you're allowed to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And that's also that's part of it, is that, you know, those nights are the nights that I have trouble sleeping because I have this like I need to get up and check on her kind of thing, you know.
Red. You can't tell whether the color is paint,
Anxiety.
or something worse.
Yeah, kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah. Or the responsibility to make sure everything's fine. Like I said, everyone's got their own little issues and quirks and
The pirates behind this door continue
things.
oblivious to your presence.
People who don't have certain things, they just can't relate to. Like, I had a boss who didn't understand migraine pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Todd, for example, he has never had a headache in his life. He's just never, he's never had pain that wasn't from a physical wound.
I feel like that's not that. Like, surely he's had a headache, right?
Apparently
Like,
not. Apparently he's never had a headache.
I don't believe that. I think he's over exasperating like what he's actually had. You know, like he may have had like a little headache and just like, it's not. It's trivial to mention this to him. You know.
I don't know. Like I said, he says that he has never had a headache. He has never had any pain like that. Now he's probably 300 or 400 pounds overweight, so he has a lot of other pains, and I would believe that maybe these other pains override, something as trivial as a headache. But I've never even seen him take pain meds. Like, never. And I've seen him, like, sometimes his ankles will swell up and the skin will break open like an overripe watermelon. I've never even seen him take pain pills or anything like that. But he's just like, I've seen him not feel well, but I don't even think I've ever seen him take anything for that either. He's like, yeah, I've never had a headache. I've never had a headache. I've never had a migraine. I've never had that kind of stuff. I've had, but he's got aches and pains for being overweight. It's like, yeah, I just don't understand what you mean. Like, I hear people talk about it, but I've never had it, so I can't relate. It's the same thing. Like, I'm a little bit overweight, I'm a lot overweight, but I don't understand what it's like to just have, like my ankles split open and get bloody. We made him some cream that he was putting on for a little while, but then his legs got better, so he stopped, and then they got worse again. It's like, well, they got better, so I stopped. Like, it's not a cure. It doesn't fix it for eternity.
Yeah.
You gotta keep putting this stuff on. Like, it's a cream,
Yeah.
Clearly part of your problem is your skin is dehydrated, and this will help you hydrate your skin. Yeah, there are people out there who just have never experienced something, and they just don't understand.
And parents just don't understand.
How has someone never had a headache? Again, I imagine it has something to do with his genetics or something.
It could also be his pain tolerance, because if he doesn't take pain medicine, then something tells me he probably just doesn't have he has like a super good pain tolerance, and he's probably not thinking like, oh, this is a headache, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
I just don't. I can't see a world where there's not a person that's never had a headache like that.
I imagine there's got to be a percentage of people who've never had a headache.
I disagree.
I feel like the world is just too big. Headache-free people are aliens, even to the pro. This is a story about freaks that make my head hurt just to think about it. But there's a tiny subset of people, if they can be called people, who have never had a headache. Weirdos like my mother. And then it goes on and on and on. I said, I think there's just a small percentage of people who just have they just have never had a headache. I don't know.
As you wonder whether the ship is still empty, you hear a shout from the quarterdeck above.
This is a woman who claims after 80 years of living, she's never had a headache. Including, she's gone through, hang on.
I mean, sure, there's got to be people out there that have never had a headache, but it just seems so weird to me. Like,
As far as we know, 5 to 10% of people have never had head or face pain. We don't know who they are, and we don't know why they are, according to...
I don't know that I've ever not had. I don't think I've ever had face pain. Like, that seems
Face hurts all
like-
the time. Always hurts.
like face pain. I guess, like from like a sunburn I've had.
No, like nasal stuff. Like right now, it even like it hurts through here. Anyway, Dr. Norman Hardin, a headache expert at Northwestern University. 5 to 10% of people just don't get headaches.
Cue the "your face is killing me" joke.
Ho ho. If I knew you were watching the stream, I would believe you.
I am watching the stream.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
don't know.
watching is a strong term. I have the stream on my phone.
There you go. That seems more like what. It is playing. It is physically running.
Yes.
But you are on in the background as an entertainment. I know, I got to Dustin's. And,
There is no emotion comparing space
people were talking about wanting to watch something with Disney Plus or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I don't have Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, I do. I'll just throw it on to your Chromecast. Oh, I don't have a Chromecast. I never had the need. It's like, oh, how? Like, there's something I don't understand. People who don't have a Chromecast.
Mm-hmm.
Or a smart television that will do it. Oh no, it's weird.
I have a Fire Stick.
I have a Fire Stick also. I'm gonna put the Fire Stick in this room, I think. Right now
Actually,
it was upstairs, but Remington took it out, took up something upstairs.
Actually, I have a Fire Stick and a Chrome Stick, but the Chrome Stick is in my daughter's room.
Yeah, I have 2 Chromecasts hooked up now and the Fire Stick. Amazon has really kicked their television programming up a notch, in my opinion. So I've been watching a lot more stuff on Amazon. Like the new season of The Expanse, I thought was really good. Short, but really good.
I don't know. I've been thinking about starting up the Witcher. Just came out.
Yeah, I've got some people who said that it's pretty sweet. Let's see, we are level 9. See if we can find a throwing star. Apparently, no. Get an adamantine throwing star, I guess.
Alright, I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes.
Alright, I may not be streaming by then.
Okay. I'll be in chat.
Okay. Let's buy this adamantine shuriken. Let's go craft something. I probably have an adamantine shuriken somewhere too. But we need to craft up a different ranged weapon anyway. What do we want to put on this shuriken? I need it to be good at killing constructs. But it doesn't have to be like specialized in that. Let's see. Weapon. It'll probably end up being like lower level. Yeah, maybe 4. Just clicking some buttons here for right now, and then we'll look at it. But 4 is 2d6, 6 is 2d6, 8 is 2d6, 10 is where it changes. So yeah, we can go as low as level 4. We're losing +1 Yeah, so 6 is where it goes from +2 to +3. So we might as well make it as low level as we can get away with. So does it need to be good, or should it just be force? Can't think of any reason it needs to be good lined. And like I said, we're going to be using it primarily right now to hit levers and to break constructs. I don't know if we have a living gem for construct, but I don't know if we want to make it specialize in that. As much as we just want to add this stuff seems good. As much as we just want to add something like bludgeoning or piercing or slashing or something. This seems fine. Maybe not great, but fine. Chat, you have thoughts? I don't think you can put... If you can put smiting, it's higher level. I don't know if you can smite, though. I don't see it here. Yeah, I'm not seeing smiting. Like, you can't do Vorpal, you can't do... Yeah, let me see. Let me just go all the way up. Here's everything unlocked. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's not there. They removed a lot of those kind of power 9, power 5 type things from our crafting options. Lloyd says thinking usually gets me into trouble. And how? Yeah, I also have not fiddled with smiting in a long time. It's not one of my go-tos for sure. Let's make sure this is keyed for the crafting. Level 4. Force. Let's type all the letters maybe. Seems reasonable to type all the letters. Did we decide we like bludgeoning more than we like? Probably, right? Like, what doesn't bludgeoning hit? Not that much. Yeah, I think this will do. This will do, donkey. This will do. Basically, I just needed to get this thing out of the way. Alright, let's go do one more quest here. Let's go do the Ballista quest. This is not where I parked my car. This is not where I parked my car. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for hanging out on YouTube. Appreciate it. It's always good to see somebody acknowledge that they're watching on the YouTube side. I often get asked, why do I bother streaming to YouTube? And it's because sometimes there are people who watch on YouTube. And those people should get to watch the stream as well. Can't blame works filter. How goes the troubleshooting then, Beef?
Made anchor just off Mistral Island, safely out of range of enemy fire.
Alright, let's see. How much damages are we doing? Oh, that's not bad. That's way better than what we were probably going to end up doing. You have to go this way. There we are. That's good. Those are all things that capable person should be able to do. Alright, now the sweet spot for this other one is like right here. Now it's just wait out the clock. Nice. Unfortunately, I am going to have to get something to eat. My head is playing Chubba Wubba on my skull, and it's definitely partly because it's hungry. Said this weekend I did a really poor job of sticking to my diet times, so I've been hungry all day today.
To splinters. The Blood Tide can no longer menace passing ships with their siege weapons.
But we'll probably be not very well sticking to things all week, so might as well just get used to the idea. Usually people give me all sorts of... By people, I mean the wife gives me all sorts of hard time. Get back here. Huh. I'm hearing a very faint sounds like metal chinging against metal. Chong, chong. Maybe it's the music from the game. Should be louder than that though, if it is. Welcome back. You're gonna make it right before we wrap up. This is the last quest, the last couple of fights. She has a hard time just eat lots of onions. Yeah. I like not having things cut off of me in the night. Alright, excellent. I think with that though, I think we're in pretty good shape to wrap up for the evening. Crikey. I'll be busy trying to set some things up today. I said I'm going to try to get the new capture device set up for the Game Boy and etc., the various HDMI things. And then If that sets up easily, I also think this has an offline recording capability. Maybe it doesn't. One of the ones I was looking at did. You just like plug in a USB drive and it recorded onto that. But one of the ones I was looking at didn't have. If you had that, you didn't have the streaming capability. So maybe that's what I decided to err on the side of being able to stream. But this also means, if I get this up and running, this also means I might be able to get the family to do some Dokapon Kingdom streams, which would be pretty funny. Yeah, I'm not worried about recording here. The reason why I was thinking about that was that I could take this upstairs very easily and record, again, like the Dokapon Kingdom playthrough or whatever with the family. Otherwise, they got to come sit down here, and that's not as easy to get the family to do stuff like that for family recording of games. All right. Anything else that I actually need to keep track of here? Don't think so. I think the rest of this stuff's all just junk. All right, everybody. With that, I'm gonna get out of here for lunch. I'll try to fiddle with a couple of things. I got to make some flyers for work and get some advertising up. Pre-release is right around the corner. I think it's like it's usually Martin Luther King weekend. There we go. Spit it out. So it's usually like 2 weeks after the new year. So I need to get the flyers built so we can start advertising for that event. And, you know, like I said, get the hardware set up, stuff like that. I also need to take the time to get next month's heroes list built together. Seth is dressed up like Santa, me more than just wearing a Santa hat. That's pretty fly. That's pretty fly. I've been meaning to get a Santa hat. I might try to grab one this year if I make it to the store. All right, everybody, with that, I'm out of here. Have a great day. We'll see you later tonight. I don't want to make a start time promise, but I would like to be on early enough that Beef and I can maybe get a couple hours in if Beef is available to do stuff. So, as always, like, subscribe, and follow if you enjoyed this video and you would like to know when we go live next. If we can, I'll be working on getting JavaBot some experience. Java is what level? Java's level 15. So I don't think we can cap out tonight, but we can make a big dent if we get like 3 or so hours of play in, maybe 4. So, all right, everybody, peace, much love, and we'll see you guys in a few hours. Toodles.